the store we be looking at.
What's up, party people? I'm back. So those who don't know me, I'm Rob from Rob93 Aquatics, and Mr. Riley loves doing collaborations, but this one is a very special one because you will get to see my fish room tour virtually. Alright, so out the gate we're going to start with Mr. Draco, but for those who don't know, Draco is a girl. This is our 3-year-old Oscar. Was a boy when we first purchased, and as it got older we noticed that it was a girl. But this is Draco, everyone. Once was an all black Oscar, looking amazing with this wonderful orange and just this wonderful new growth in the back of the tail, just amazing. Then we're going to go ahead and slide on down to the black water 60-gallon tank with the angel fish and a few of the bristlenose plecos. This is one of my favorite fish tanks in the fish room. As you can see how nice and peaceful flowing this is. It makes me for sure get lost in it. So this 60-gallon right here, if you like black water, or you have tendencies of wanting to get a black water tank, I guarantee you would enjoy it. Alright, so what we're going to do is slide on over to this big huge wall. I call it Zone 2. This right here hosts a whole bunch of tanks, which are 9-10 gallons with quarantine fish tanks and also snail tanks and grow out tanks. Pretty much a whole bunch of miscellaneous things going on in here. Let's dive into row by row though. Starting at the top row, far right, we have the Daisy's rice fish with the flame moss. That is the flame moss. It is one of the slowest growing mosses I've ever encountered, in my opinion, but it's looking good so far, but I'm hoping to get a little bit more growth out of it. There is also some bristlenose plecos super reds in there, but I'm not sure where they are because they are always hiding. Now we're going to go ahead and slide on over to the next tank, which is hosting the bristlenose plecos, just the common ones. Now this gentleman has been on some eggs for a very long time. I'm not sure if he is trying to breed himself to death. This guy has tried to breed so long, he has not came out of that cave since he has tried to start breeding. I think I'm going to take that cave out to save his life so he can actually eat, because I think he just wants to breed and continue to breed, but he's not successful. So we're going to try something and get it going. Alrighty, so we're going to slide on over to the last take on the first row, hosting the malaria-causing that I did get from my local fish club. This is another batch from a different one that I have in the fish room, so I am hyped to have these so I can crossbreed them with the ones that I currently have, so I can get them off the path of inbreeding so they can throw some nice, genuine fish. And we're going to go ahead and slide on down to the second row, all the way far right to this empty quarantine tank. You always got to have a quarantine tank on standby depending on what's the situation of any kind of situation. You have one. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and slide on over to the grow out 10-gallon with the polar blue cichlids. This is the top 4 that I have in the first batch that I'm going to breed and make sure that I keep these traits going. But I'm ready to see when these pair off to see what they're going to throw out. Now we're going to slide on over to the next quarantine tank that is hosting the Galaxy Pearl Daisy's rice fish. And then we also have the sparkling Grammies, which are the miniature ones. They are very nice and healthy. All of them are healthy. They have been in here. Now here's the kicker though. I was supposed to get 4 sparkling Grammies, and I ended up with 3 sparkling Grammies and a guppy. Somehow that guppy got into the net while they were trying to net out the sparkling Grammies, so I got one of the pregnant female guppies. Now we're going to go ahead and slide on down to the last row, first tank to the right, hosting the cappuccino snails. Now these snails are very, very rare in some cases. Some people don't see them, some people have seen them. Now these snails in particular give live birth to snails, but they're about 1 to 2 every so often, if not every year. So I'm hoping to be the first, if not the only person to see them breed on film. Now we're going to go ahead and slide on over to the second to the last tank on this 10-gallon rack. We have another snail tank, but as you can see, we have a cappuccino snail in there. It's kind of difficult to breed snails that are hard to breed, that have never been seen on film breeding. It's hard to breed them when they are moving tank to tank. But here is the snail tank as well. I have a few snail tanks that a lot of people probably enjoy, because shout out to all my snail nerds. Alright, now we're going to slide on over to the last tank on the 10-gallon rack. We have 2 cappuccino snails in this tank. They moved from the far right tank all the way to the 3rd tank, which is completely amazing by all means. But we do have a balloon green terra, or a balloon green terra, and I have not picked out a name for this fella or female, but I did pick this up in an auction at my fish club meeting, and I am simply amazed how compacted and how lively and healthy this fish is, knowing that some of these fish are bred with a lot of problems, but this fish seems to be well and balanced and looking amazing. Hoping to see this grow out really nice and well. Balloon green terra, everyone. Now we're going to go ahead and go over to this depressing tank as well. It once had a whole bunch of guppy grass, but then I realized when I got this guppy grass from a fish club that it had this wonderful hair algae. Now as you can see, hair algae suffocated all of the guppy grass, and if not, made this into one mass huge hair algae moss ball. This tank is amazing. I love the live bearing fish in here. This is the Livebearers, the first batch in the first generations that I've had in this tank right here. So I hope to be getting some of them out and crossbreeding them with the new ones to make sure everything is in line to have some good fish thrown out. Livebearers, everyone. Now we're going to go ahead and slide on over to the right into the miscellaneous tank. We have a female beta, we have white cloud minnows, we have cherry barbs, we have danios, we have bristlenose plecos. A miscellaneous 29-gallon with the largest, longest guppy grass in the world. I'm going to call it right now a world-breaking record guppy grass that long. Now we're going to slide on down to Miss Apollo, my flower horn, female flower horn at that. She is beautiful. Some people mistake her as a male without the KOK, but she is a very aggressive fish, and she's beautiful at the same time. One of my favorites in the fish room besides Draco, but Apollo is one of my favorites, I can say. And we're going to slide on over to the last tank on the 429-gallon rack. We have Blue, the long time fish that we've had for a very long time, and the only fish that survived out of 32 fish of African cichlids. For those who don't know, African cichlids are very aggressive, and Blue is one of the most aggressive. Was the tank boss. Pretty much took out most of them, if not all of them. So now we are probably, if not the only fish tube that has a pet African cichlid and a 20-gallon living its best life. Blue, everyone. Blue is a Johanni hybrid, for those who want to know what it is. Most beautiful African cichlid in my opinion. Now, these two down here at the bottom are 5-gallon, 5.5s I want to say. And this one to the right, we have a lot of guppy grass and lava rock with some shrimp, and we have Cichlids fish. Now these Cichlids fish only survived a few, about 2 are in there, so I'm pretty happy, and hopefully they'll start breeding to make it a little bit better. But we do have some shrimp in there, hopefully they can get breeding. But I'm loving this tank as of right now. I'm calling this my guppy grass tank. And the last tank over here at the bottom is the Inler guppies. These are my feeder guppies, but these are the ones that are more robust and nice looking. This tank did sort of do a semi-crash, if not didn't crash, if not it all the way crashed. Now some may say if your tank crashes and lose fish at the same time, mine didn't. It kind of crashed and the fish still kept breeding. So there is fry in here, so this tank is still healthy. There's no ick, there isn't anything. So I made sure that I'm gonna start adding some more plants in there, but this is the Inler Guppy tank. And we also have some more nicer polar blues over here. This is, I want to say, out of my second and third batch, some of the best ones over here. They're a little skittish, just turn the light on in here. But yeah, this tank's nice and clean, nice and clear. Goodness. Now we're going to go ahead and go out into the living room. I do have some fish out there as well. Now we are in the living room at the 75-gallon Indiana native tank. Now all these fish were collected in the White River and some at a friend of mine all the way up in the northern Indiana. Alright y'all, so I hope everyone enjoyed this tour and I hope to see you over at Rob93 Aquatics. And as always, Mr. Riley, thank you so much for me showing everyone my fish room on your platform. And as always, everyone, be kind, be courteous, and I hope to see you soon.